Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, a while back I did a video talking about how humanity relies so much on technology. Now, I did talk about the internet on there, but in this video I'm just going to talk directly about internet. Many of the pros and cons and how easy it is to manipulate the internet, how easy it is to cut off the internet, and so on and so forth. Now, the internet came about, what, 30, almost 40 years ago. But it wasn't really, obviously, that huge until, let's say, the mid to late 90s. It started growing on a rapid pace. And I believe that the internet was created by the CIA. There's many different sources that I found that talk about that. And it wasn't meant to do the things that we use it for today, right? It wasn't meant for that. It was meant possibly to monitor us, to infiltrate other governments, possibly. All the wrong reasons, essentially. Now let's talk about the good things about the internet first. It has made life very convenient. You can order things whenever you want. You can do your banking online. You can access information about anything on any topic at any time. You can create your own business via the internet, creating a website. You can communicate with people from other parts of the world without making a phone call. And I mean, in the 90s and 2000s, they didn't really have the communications capabilities that they do now. You could talk with people through like ICQ and MSN Messenger, and they had email and things like that. But obviously, things advanced quite rapidly after the early 2000s. Internet started becoming quicker. So I remember like they had dial-up, then they had the high-speed edition, and then they had what was it, like fiber optic? I don't remember what came after the high speed. I think it was like it started getting faster and faster and cheaper. Now, the other pros about the internet, other good things, is you could work remotely. You could watch videos of all kinds of things. YouTube came about in like 2005, 2006. Facebook, all these different social media groups, and we'll talk about the negatives about that as well. But all these things that made information accessible at your fingertips, especially with the advent of like smartphones and all that stuff. You basically had a computer in the palm of your hands, and with the internet, so many things, so many possibilities. Now, what are the things were positive about the internet? You can book trips. You can, like I mentioned, you can find out anything you want on the internet. It just has so many possibilities. I think since the advent of the internet, it's made the world much smaller. Now let's get into the cons of the internet and how many there are. Now, I think it's made a lot of people not willing to think about things, not willing to sort of connect with nature, because so many people are on their computer, on their smart device, smartphone, whatever, and constantly getting dopamine hits from all the information, from the scrolling, from like the internet is essentially its own thing, right? I mean, how we choose to use it is completely other, and people using it for many the wrong reasons. I mean, you have the dark web, which a lot of information that isn't allowed, that you normally can't access through normal channels, you can find through there. Unfortunately, through the internet, there's always scams. There's a child pornography ring, which is horrendous, and they're constantly busting them all the time. There's hacking, there's fraud, there's identity theft through the internet. So many people have become obsessed with the internet. They can't take a break from it. Hence the online shopping. They don't even go out to stores anymore. A lot of people. I think there's always going to be a place for it for buying in person, but the online stuff, especially with like Amazon and what do you call it, Walmart and whatever, whoever has websites has delivery pretty much. People can meet other people around the world and basically have a intimate relationship with them, thus cheating on their partner. Sure, they could cheat with someone in person, but I mean, they could meet someone from another part of the world. Not like they could do that without the internet. How would, unless they travel to that place or whatever. So there's a heightened possibility of infidelity, and that complicates things. Internet can cause people to gamble online. You know, the accessibility is just there. Overspending on shit online is just absolutely ridiculous. You could also get information overload through the internet. So like, so much stuff is on the internet, whether it's true or not. And a lot of people are addicted to learning. So it could be too much for the brain to process, and you're constantly always wanting to fill that information gap. One thing I forgot about the pros is education. You can learn so much online. You can even do courses online. So that's one pro that I didn't remember. Something else is that if you're constantly using internet, some people can develop a antisocial personality. So they do everything over the screen. Even if they're talking with people, socializing, they will lose the ability to talk to people face to face. So they become kind of isolated and only do things via the internet, which, I mean, I think we're losing a lot of that, especially with all the social media and all that nonsense. People would rather speak to someone through a screen rather than face to face, and so that's pretty sad. Other things that can happen is cyberbullying. So people could hide behind the screen and verbally attack others, hurt people, just do all kinds of bad shit and not have to ever show their face, whether that's on YouTube or any other platform. People can share misinformation like crazy. I don't believe in censoring. I think that just let the information there, unless it's, of course, harming other people, as in like blatant lies, certain things that could harm somebody. Like if they think that, if I do this and this will happen, or whatever. Like if they take this sort of medicine, and I don't know, just things like that. But I don't want anybody's speech to be impaired or limited. I think that you need to, if someone is saying something wrong that is, you don't want to shut them up, but they could face legal things like that, legal consequences. I still believe in that because the law would deal with that. And believe it or not, the internet can be addictive. I mean, there's just so many things. There's like online games, online gambling, pornography sites, unlimited access to it. I don't know how people pay for it still, but they could get stuck in that. And yeah, just overuse can really harm someone's mental health situation. I think it's healthy to break away from that once in a while. You have to get away from the internet, the technology. I just think we're not meant to be looking at a screen all day and every day. I remember when I was younger, it used to be video games, which was the problem, staring at a TV screen for hours on end. Now it's the computer or the device, accessing information. Just, you see it everywhere you go on the smartphone. Everyone's just on the internet. And if you didn't have that, you wouldn't see all these people with their head down looking and listening to video, listening to things, watching videos and whatever. It's just become so addictive, I think. even for me. But I do catch myself in it, and I try to take breaks from it. I think it's just you can't you cannot spend your all your waking hours on the internet. I usually go on, do what I have to do, banking, whatever, and try to get off it as much as possible and get some fresh air and go for walks. That's the best thing you can do. I think overall, the internet is a good thing. I think it's connected us for the better, connected us in ways that we never probably thought imaginable. We can learn so many things. We can speak to our loved ones that we can't see from a long distance. We can do online shopping if you need to. Like if you, like for example, if you can't find something in your home country or whatever, and you want to order it from another country, you wouldn't likely be able to do that without the internet. Now, I think personally there's more good than harm that comes from the internet. Sure, there is a lot of shit on the internet. There's a lot of evil shit that goes on there. But I think if you balance it out, um, it's generally a good thing. I think the problem is that humans don't know how to control their addictions, and if they could do that, we could live just fine with the internet. Um, the other ramifications about the internet is like it could be easily cut off. You have no power, for example, in a place, no internet. So the ramifications are if so many systems and things are connected to the internet, like reliant to the internet, that could bring about a lot of fucking problems. Like, let's say a hospital is has a program like an automatic. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but let's say that you need the internet to be able to run the systems of a hospital. It may already be like that in some places, and it shuts down or there's no power. If there's no power, even with a generator, because if it's a citywide blackout or whatever, and you're relying on the internet to deal with certain problems, you're screwed. Even banking, like I always say, cash should still be around because if you had no internet on your phone, unless they can devise a separate digital wallet or something, which they probably will, that is um, independent of the internet, um, we would be screwed. There's no buying anything. There's no, you know, same with power. Power and the internet go hand in hand, and without either of them or one or the other, things get really complicated. And I think that's the dangers of relying on the internet so much. Um, a lot of programs around the world rely on the internet to run, like data processing and AI and all these other things. If that was to go down, or if it's hacked or whatever, that's going to be a very, very complicated and difficult situation that's going to arise from that. I just think it just always reminds me of the Terminator movie with the Skynet, how it got online and then basically spread everywhere through the internet. That could be another possibility. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen or go down this exact same way, but I mean, you, I don't know whether they're going to have their weapon systems through AI or through the internet, which they would go hand in hand as well, because how are you pass information from one place to another? Um, Maybe they have technology to do that through their own systems, like individual systems, but it gets really dicey the more you think about that. Um, I don't know. The more complicated and complex the internet and including AI and all these other things gets, it just makes many more possibilities of things going wrong, uh, uh, becoming more of a reality. Now, I don't know. I mean, you guys let me know what you think about the internet, the pros and cons of the internet. Like I said, I overall think it's a good thing. I think it makes life a lot easier. But again, humans don't know how to control their addictions, and it becomes, it takes over people's lives. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye for now.